Hey guys, and welcome to the Natty Blueprint podcast. We have got a special guest on today. It is a multiple-time winning Natty bodybuilder. He's the Natty Roo. What's your Instagram, mate? By the way, is
No,
it
it's Rise with Rue. I
Rise
changed
with
it.
Roo? That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah.
the Natty Roo. That'd be
Oh
cool.
no, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the original.
But we've got a pleasure of having him on the podcast today. Multiple show winner, British title winner as well with the BMBF, I believe.
And
Um,
WMBF, yeah, yeah.
And get it both
I had
in,
to
but
drop it
get
in,
get
I had to
both of
drop
them in. Yeah, why not? So anyway, this is episode 11. Welcome, Rue, onto the podcast. Would you like to just introduce yourself quickly, mate? Let the people know who you are, kind of your background of bodybuilding, and we'll get stuck in.
Yeah, of course, man. So obviously you gave it a pretty good introduction yourself, to be fair. But obviously, firstly, appreciate you guys having me on. Obviously, reaching out. Like I said, well, like we spoke about, it's my first podcast, so yeah, man, in for a good one. And yeah, so my name's Rue. I'm 27 years old. Obviously, as like you said, like last year was my first year competing in bodybuilding. Two British titles. I came obviously first in the qualifiers, third at a UKGFBA show, and then went to the Worlds where I came fifth, which was like mad experience. And then like just in terms of like yeah, bodybuilding, bro. Obviously, so I've been doing like last year was my first competitive year, but training wise, been training for like 9, 10 years, man. It's been like ages. So like in terms of like competing, I got into it kind of late, you could say. Um, but yeah, like always training like bodybuilding style and stuff like that. But it kind of took me a while to take that kind of like next step forward and be like, you know what, I want to step on stage. I want to like hit these new goals. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's
That's cool,
that's
bro.
Nice.
pretty much some
So,
stuff into me.
what's your like background and getting into training then? Was it just like when you were a teenager, you just went into the gym like the kind of traditional route, or was it, there's any background story behind that?
Yeah, no, literally. So when I was younger, like I've always been into sport, and then like you know, like I used to play for like football for like Sunday league team, school team. Was in the like the school athletics team. But you know, you get to that point where like I don't know if you lads are into football. You get to that point, you're not gonna make, you know, you're not gonna make it. So then I thought, you know,
I
what's
was
this?
never that good.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying,
re
bro.
I realized that after one game, mate, to be
Like,
honest.
but yeah, so literally then cause I was so into sport, like I always wanted to like just do something fitness related. Then literally me and my mate joined the gym. Actually, to be fair, I first started training, so I must have been like 17, 18, because I first started training at my sixth form gym, which for a sixth form gym, it was pretty good, do you know what I mean? And then obviously then joined like a commercial gym. And then yeah, just from there, but just wanted to like just look good. That's all it was, because I was like I was quite like slim, skinny. So it wasn't even like about I want to try to lose weight. I just wanted to like look good in like with my top off or like on holiday, just that kind of, do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
literally went on, and then you kind of like realize that okay, like maybe I could do something with this, because like so you know when like people start to notice like in the gym like oh you're looking good, whatever, whatever. And then but even then, bro, like I said, like so if I've been competing for like let's say 9, 10 years, I started with AJ in like 2023, so it still took a long time for me to take that next step. But
Okay.
yeah, that's where it came from, bro. Just wanted to like look good, look good. That was it
Yeah.
to be fair. Yeah.
Did you have any other coaches prior, or was AJ your first?
Yeah, AJ was my first one, bro.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
big.
Went up there with the top one.
That's what you to be, bro. That's literally what it was. I thought if I want to do this, I want to like do it with the best. Do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say? Someone that's walked the walk, someone that it's not just him walking the walk. It's what your clients have done as well. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it, bro. To be fair,
Cool.
Nice.
That's
Are
really
you
cool.
local to AJ?
nah, not all. I'm
No,
from Birmingham.
Birmingham. Yeah, I thought so.
Birmingham.
What about you, lads?
Mate,
We're
we're
southeast.
we're nowhere near
Oh, even
AJ.
further.
Yeah,
Oh, flipping
We're
hell.
southeast in Kent.
southeast, bro. We're closer
No
to
way.
France than AJ.
Literally, literally.
Um,
Mad.
so what made
Absolutely
you
mad.
kind of think then when you went from like just training normally, which I'm assuming you went down the kind of like the lifestyle route where you were living the bodybuilding lifestyle, but you hadn't kind of like s- dedicated yourself to competing. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
was
yeah.
kind of like the thing that made you go, okay, like I'm
Like
going
the
to sign on
push.
board AJ and I'm going to give it a go in 2024?
So, like you said, like literally you just said like the whole lifestyle, it was there, bro. Like training was there. My meals was like pretty more or less the same stuff every day. And do you know what I mean? It was stuff like that. And to be fair, like how I said, like I started with AJ in 2023, bro. I'd probably considered it well over a year before that. they're like, I want to work with AJ, want to work with AJ. But to be honest, bro, I'll be completely honest with like, because like I'd followed like not so much when I was starting, wasn't really following like natural bodybuilders, but just like bodybuilders in general, like around like my area, people watching people's vlogs and stuff like that. So I kind of knew what went into a prep, like the sacrifices you have to make, because obviously you guys know you do. So then I was kind of like, oh, am I willing to give up so and so in my life? I wasn't quite sure. And like from where I come from, like my culture and our background, like bro, there's always something on. Like if it's not, you haven't got a party this weekend, you've got a wedding. If you ain't got a wedding, you've got another family function. I was like, oh, how can I make it work? Can I make it work? And then I realized I'm just making too many excuses. I just need to do it. Like when you been contemplating something for so long, and obviously not to sound like big headed or nothing, I thought that like if I do it, like I want to do well, and I had belief in myself that I could do well, and so when like, I feel like I want to set these goals for myself. I just need to take that next step, and that's pretty much what it was, bro.
Yeah,
Cool.
just you touched on like the cultural side of things there. With my like client base, we've got a lot
Yeah,
of like South Asians, a similar
yeah,
thing there, you said about weddings and things
yeah.
in terms of that culture. Did you meet any sort of like resistance from family, friends when you jumped into bodybuilding or?
To be fair, bro, like honestly, I can't like thank my family enough for like how supportive they have been, especially like parents and like close family,
Yeah,
even close friends. Like everyone's been really supportive. But it's funny you say that, bro, because especially from people from my background, because like the area with the to be fair, the area I'm in is quite mixed, but the gym I was at and when I was prepping, it was very like a lot more Asians, like South Asian stuff like that. And I get a
yeah.
lot of people asking me like, oh bro, like what's your family think of it and stuff like that. And I was getting asked that many questions. It made me think that
Should
I'm
there be
presuming. Say again, bro.
like should there be something wrong with it, sort of thing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was
Yeah,
like, so like that made me think that if they was in my position, their family would probably be a bit like up. Like, do you know what I mean? But I thought like it shouldn't be like that. Like your family should support you, your friends should support you. If they don't, then you're probably around the wrong people. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
honestly, and like literally nothing. Like everyone's just been like really supportive, especially when people see like how much something means to you, how well you could, or like how well you could possibly be at something. I feel like it makes them realize, okay, you know what, fair enough. Obviously, when I was first getting started, and like even before like competitive bodybuilding, I'd still like be weighing food stuff out and stuff like that. Obviously, like I knew like my parents were probably thinking like, why are you doing it to so much extreme? But it's like it's something that's like they're not familiar with. So unless you like kind of explain things, it's like someone was to like explain something to me that I didn't know anything about. First, I might just think, oh, like what are you doing, bro, or whatever. When you
yeah,
start to explain something to someone, then they can actually rational and be like, okay, I get it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's also like you can't always expect people to get it either.
No, no, no.
You've
And
also
that's
got to
fine.
understand. Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you know what I mean? That's cool.
Yeah,
Like that's like if they don't understand and they're not on board, that's completely fine. But
yeah,
obviously, we've all got the same thoughts. Everyone all got the same things we want to do. But yeah,
yeah.
That's
Nice.
really cool that you had kind of like that supportive background, and obviously it's new to you as well to a degree. Like last season was your first season, so you kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
didn't know
yeah,
what you're getting into, and then obviously you kind of got to explain it to your family as well. So it's great that you had that support network around you because you need
yeah.
that in a prep, right? Like preps are
Hundred
pretty
percent, bro.
brutal,
100%.
and if you've got a good support around network around you, they don't care if you're eating your meals at a family function or
No,
like
no, 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 no.
you can't eat their
Yeah,
dinner or whatever. Like
yeah,
they
yeah,
know, and
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
tends to make the process a lot less stressful. Because I found
Funny.
like especially in my first one. When
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
eating my meals and like I'm going around my nan's house or something, she's like, "You can eat this," and I'm like, "No, I can't. I've
no,
got to
yeah,
eat
yeah, can't.
this."
Yeah. It's funny you said that because it's actually one of my best mates got married last year while I was on prep, and obviously they all knew they was cool with it, but obviously his whole family didn't know my situation. So when I'm pulling out my Tupperware, like I'm getting looks like, what's he doing? But
Yeah,
obviously like it's one of them ones where like, even my mates was like, oh, but yeah, look, somebody was looking over because one somebody did actually ask like, oh, like how come so like not to my face, but they asked my mate like, oh, how come he's bringing his own food? And it's like, oh, he's on like a bodybuilding prep. But she doesn't. She's like an older woman. She didn't know what bodybuilding prep was. So to even like her to fathom like what's going on, she just
yeah.
like just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things like because we're in that situation, like we kind of
Yeah,
have to expect people to ask those sort of questions. But like,
yeah, of
what are
course,
they
yeah,
doing? It's not normal, really, if you think about it. Like
yeah,
most people aren't weighing their food out
yeah, no, no, of
doing a
course,
prep. So yeah, it's quite funny. Obviously, at a wedding as well, you're gonna get
yeah,
lots
yeah.
of
Yeah,
eyes turned at you as well.
Funnily enough, I remember when I was chatting to AJ about it, and he was like, "Bro, if anyone says anything, just show me your stage shots, and then they'll shut up."
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
literally. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But like,
That's
this is why I'm doing it.
Yeah, literally,
just
this is
get
what.
the British title. Get the
Yeah,
medal.
just
Wear
keep my
that to the wedding.
trophies, take my
Yeah,
trophies everywhere, medals everywhere.
Yeah, just
that's
bring that with
funny.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are
Oh,
you off season at the moment, prep?
yeah. Off season, long off
Yeah.
season, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at 2027.
Oh,
yeah,
So
okay, sure.
yeah,
good
plenty
couple of
of
years.
time.
How's it
Yeah.
going? I
Good, man.
think I went through your Instagram. You talking about getting bloods done soon
Yeah,
or something?
literally today.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah, I got them done today because obviously it's still like recovering from prep, so it's kind of one of those wins where, like, obviously I try to like give like the best, like even like to age, like give the best feedback I can. But sometimes, but I'll be honest, it's like I struggle to remember what normal felt like in
Mm,
some aspects. So then I'm just thinking, then I'm like, oh, am I overthinking it? Am I overthinking it? But like a lot of stuff, like I do feel like I feel all right. Do you know what I mean? Especially with training, like
Yeah.
training's like going amazingly. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's just like hormonally, um, yeah, it's just a bit. I know it's not there. Like I know it's not
Yeah.
there. But then it's just like obviously being realistic and being honest with myself that like it is gonna take time because, like, bro, my altogether my prep was like 39 weeks.
Sure.
exactly. Yeah,
Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's a long time.
yeah,
Yeah.
that will do it.
Yeah.
And
What was your
you've only just kind of recently come out of prep, right? Like you competed all the way until November, was it?
In November, so it's
And
gonna be
yeah,
12 weeks this weekend.
yeah, exactly. Like 12
It's not
weeks is
long.
not a long
Yeah.
time
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
kind of retrospect of
Yeah,
things.
in the grand scheme of things, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a long time, bro. It does take time to kind of get back from a
Mm,
physiological level, getting back into like a normal hormone balance. And well, for natties, we all know our test goes in the bin. Basically,
yeah, I know.
when you're peeled, your test goes in the
Bro,
bin.
tell me about
Um,
it.
so it happens. It happens to
Yeah,
everyone, and it does take some time. But I'm sure like you'll be back before you know it, and you just
yeah.
got to ride this kind of
That's what I mean. There's only
recovery
so much you
phase
can
out.
do as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's more like just a waiting game.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, for
Do
sure.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I
Recovery
guess
periods take time.
the
Mm,
bloods will tell the
Yeah,
story, I guess, won't it?
yeah, that's it.
And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
maybe get them done a few months later as well.
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
I'm sure.
anyone's got any bets on whether fit my test is, drop some numbers, man.
How do you feel? Where's the love life at?
Yeah.
What, that non-existent?
There you go. That's all we need to know.
Yeah,
To be fair, mate, like I think I got my bloods done after my 2022 prep, and
yeah,
I
yeah,
was like, I feel like, because I felt like real shit that prep, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
my test must be in the bin. It came
yeah.
back and it was like 13 nanomole, and I was like,
Oh,
I'm in
okay.
range. I was on the
Yeah,
lower side.
yeah, but
My
still
estrogen was through the roof,
through the
but
roof. Yeah, yeah,
like my test was in range, and I was like, sound. I'm just
yeah,
basically a girl, but I've got
yeah.
test. So
Sure.
yeah, it does
What
take
was
time.
what would you say is like long-term goals with bodybuilding? What's the site there?
To turn pro.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got to be, bro.
What fed is it? Is it leaning towards like WMBF,
Yeah,
UKWA?
I'd say more so WMBF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's cool, bro.
Just from like to be fair, just obviously because I went to the Worlds with him as well, and it's just like yeah, it's just everything about them. I just feel like you just feel like a bit more connected to one federation. It's like
Yeah,
hard to explain, bro. But um, but yeah, I'd say WMBF.
that's cool, bro.
Nice.
2027 might be the year then. You'd have to
Might be,
keep
hopefully,
working
bro.
towards
We
that.
gotta
Yeah.
make it. You gotta make it the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
got to
There's
make
plenty
it
of
the
time
year.
to grow.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly that. So
Sure.
let's kind of backtrack then. 2024. Let's discuss the shows, which ones you done, how you did. So start right at the start. Where was your like your starting point in terms of like body weight, and how many weeks out were you from your first show?
So when I first started, I would have been around about 86
Yeah,
kilos. And then, whoa, you're making me think now, bro. Like all my stage weights.
you don't
Um,
have to list all of them. Just give us like a
yeah, yeah,
rough.
yeah, yeah. Well, obviously, I know. Okay, so if I started at 86, I remember like for my final show, I was like 70 point. Well, on stage I was probably about 71.
Okay, so about 15 kilos off.
Yeah.
That's
Obviously,
not too
so
bad. That's
yeah, yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good amount. That's a good starting point. Like,
no,
trust
definitely,
me, I've done a 50-pound prep before, which is like
bro.
22 kilos, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
rough. Like, it is rough.
That is not nice. Because to be fair, even at the start, it was like, and even this, to be fair, it was the same with my pre-prep diet. Like the first 4 or 5 weeks, like weight was not moving, didn't want to move, and then, bro, after that, I think after those initial first food drops, I did not have one food change all a prep.
Really.
Sure.
Literally, nah, stuck on the same food. Weight was dropping nicely. Obviously, rate of loss obviously was slowing down to it. We literally slowed down right at the right point, and then literally we just held on to
Yeah.
the same food. Where it was like, but yeah. So first show was WMBF Midlands. Came first in that. That was a great, obviously, for like my first ever competition as well, bro. And obviously being like in my hometown, it was just like it was sick. Had loads
Yeah,
of family come out, and then so I won my class, won best wheels, which is like pretty cool, and then won the overall, which was just like if
mega.
someone had said to me you're gonna win these three, I'll be like, nah, you're lying. Do you know
You
what I
won
mean?
the
Like
whole
to win
show,
it,
bro.
yeah,
You
I know.
won the whole show.
Literally, like first show, I won it all. I was like, can't literally
Mad.
couldn't believe it. Like honestly, one of the best days of my life, like hands
Yeah.
down. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously I had the finals. Did the WMBF as a no so these was as not as like as a novice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then did WMBF. I feel like I'm on the order right. Did WMBF, won that as a novice. Did UK DFBA, which I did like open, came third in that. And then I was like I said, the last one was the WMBF finals in Boston. So yeah,
Cool.
but there was like, and to be fair, like there wasn't. See, first I was because obviously when you got your shows planned out, and like some are like a week gap, some are like a few more longer weeks gap. I was thinking like, oh, after I done, I was like, I'm not sure what I preferred. Do you know what I mean? Like, do I just want like get straight back like back to back shows, or do I want a bit of a break? Because a lot of them was like 1 week gap, 2 week gap. But then
Yeah.
for to do the Boston finals, that was a 6 or 7 weeks gap. And
Yeah.
to be fair, that's when I felt it the most.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah,
Like bridging shows is always the hardest thing.
yeah, man.
This is like when I prep clients for it, that's always the time that requires like the most attention, like from myself as a coach when it comes
Yeah, of
to
course, yeah.
literally talking to them multiple times a day because
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
so difficult to manage that period.
Mm,
Like I've noticed from athletes as well, the most head wobbles happen within that period.
that time,
It's crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, this year they're all like stacked within week, like all
Yeah.
Crazy,
yeah, it's
crazy.
like for me, for example, I've got the WNBF, UKFBA, PCA, and then 2 weeks later, I've got the MBW. So
Yeah,
it's
man.
like 4 shows in 5 weeks, which is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Mad.
Is that all the
Well,
ones you've been? Is that going to be all of them? Or
yeah,
have you got them? Yeah.
I'm gonna do all of them.
Yeah, it's
Um,
good, man.
I've just got to deal with it very well because like I've got clients competing on the same days as me
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and it's going to be brutal. Especially with the BNBF knocking out their finals in Scotland, which is
In
great.
Scotland, yeah, I seen that I seen that the other day.
Literally the other side of the planet for me, mate. Like
Literally, yeah, for you, yeah, true, yeah, for you, it
yeah.
literally is.
the thing is,
Mother
I've
Better
got
off getting a plane.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I've got two lads doing the BNBF this year, and I'll be competing at the PCA on the 27th, but the BNBF finals is on the 28th. So it's like
Oh,
my PCA show. I've pretty much thought to myself, if I don't place well, I'm just going to drive up to Scotland from Hull from the PCA show to be with the two lads that
oh,
the
that's up
next
north as
day.
well. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's up north as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're, yeah,
that's Hull, which is not too bad, the
yeah.
PCA. But then it's a 5 hour drive from Hull to Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, according to this, it's 6 hours.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough.
make it worse.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
don't know.
man.
Right after I've competed as well. Just yeah, knock up to Scotland, why not?
Yeah,
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ.
that's mad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's
gotta
there's
do the
not that
do.
many shows really south,
There
No,
really,
is no
no.
since
which is quite strange.
they stopped doing the qualifiers now, the UKFBA.
Yeah.
Like we've got the BNBF, which is in Leatherhead, which is still what 2 hours away from us, hour
Yeah.
and a half.
Yeah,
So they're not really when they say southern, they're not actually that
yeah. It's not
southern.
really. No, it's not that southern,
Yeah.
really.
more like
I think the
London
most
based.
southern we've got is Luton, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, like your show, your
Yeah,
WMBF show, that's in Luton, right?
yeah.
So that's kind of closer for us, but it's still a 2.5 hour
A
drive, isn't it?
bit of a trek, yeah.
Yeah, just north of London. So yeah, busy year, a lot of driving, a lot of miles on the old car.
Yeah.
That's why you got a new one.
Yeah, cool. Right, I'm gonna crack on to some listener questions then, because I've got a few. Just gotta find them now. Um, I've got a
I
few
didn't
like
get any.
general ones for the podcast, but I'll try find some for you first. So I might butcher this guy's name because I think he's one of your mates. Is it
Oh,
Janran? Jaran?
I don't know,
Underscore GARANSD. Oh,
I'm not
okay,
sure, bro. It
Imagine
might.
if
I'm not
imagine if
good
he's your best
with
mate. You can't remember his
names.
that's his
Instagram.
Instagram. That might not actually be his name. That's his Instagram.
Yeah,
He's asked, Big Roo, when it's wedding season, do you still try to eat healthy or do you just eat whatever you want?
see, it's like what we were speaking about.
Yeah.
It's like he knew. Uh, Now, so for like wedding season, obviously for me myself, what I would do is see that's it. It's like our. It's like okay, for example, like our weddings. It's not just like
A few
one
days,
day.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's literally like there's especially if like leading up to the wedding week, you are definitely looking at like more or less nearly every day there's something going on at the house or so there's something always something going on. So okay, what I would do personally, I'd still take my prepped like still prep my meals like usual, especially like to the days throughout the week because a lot of the stuff's gonna be either at the house or it's gonna be like quite intimate stuff. So then it's just like it's just easy to like, warm or whatever. And
yeah,
obviously now being on like off season where I can have like an off-plan meal here and there, I'd use that off-plan meal on the main day of the wedding.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
obviously, like if I know I'm going to be out for a large part of the day, I'd still maybe take like one or two meals, maybe like in the morning, cut back on my meals, just to like just be smart
Yeah,
with
just
it.
to balance
You
yeah,
got to
it. Yeah.
enjoy it. Like I said, because obviously off season now, like I have got that more flexibility to do that kind of stuff. But like I've spoken about, if I was on prep, then it's a no-brainer. Like everything, food's getting prepped. Like I'm eating at a certain time. I don't care what's going on over there. Like I need
yeah,
to get my food in. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So from my point of view, it's about I'll do it like that. But even if anyone else has just got like general like, physique goals, I think just being smart with your choices, like, do you know what I mean? That's literally it, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I might link this podcast to some of my clients.
Yeah,
Have
yeah,
them
you should
have
do.
them listen to you.
Yeah,
Do they
therefore,
just eat off
then to
plan?
drop me a follow.
Yeah, literally, literally. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because it is like the whole wedding season thing. It's not just that one day, is it?
No,
You've
no,
got
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you'll go to maybe one lot of the family, then the
yeah,
next, then you got certain
yeah,
events going on the weekends, and yeah, like some of my clients do struggle with it, and it is
yeah,
that case of right, let's plan ahead a little bit.
yeah, yeah. And to
But
be
there
fair,
is,
you can make like smarter choices with the food. Obviously, a lot of it is that you can't, but there's always, I can guarantee it's some sort of like kind of like a dry chicken, like a chicken tikka.
yeah,
Always some of that. There's always some rice, always some salad. So you can be smart with it.
yeah, it's
Like
portion control as well,
Yeah.
isn't it? At the end of
portion
the day,
control as
yeah,
well. Like you don't have to be having everything. You don't have to have every single dessert just because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
and then
just
the
being
alcohol
smart
as
with the
well.
choices, right?
Oh yeah, and then the alcohol. Yeah, yeah. To top it all off.
Wash it down with a few beers.
Yeah, yeah.
White spirits, best way
Yeah,
to go. Less calories. Okay, I got a question from Chris. He's asked, "What's your favorite part of competing with the WMBF in America?"
So for me, what kind of because after my shows were done, I knew I wanted to do like one international show. For me, I'm not gonna lie, the one thing that sold it to me was just America.
Yeah,
One being obviously it's America. Two, I'd never been before.
sure.
So that for me was like, and obviously BNBF being such like a prestigious federation, like it was like to be fair, even if it was any one of the others, I still would have. But like I think just America just sold it to me, and yeah, and obviously it being in Boston, and then obviously I've made the most of it by then. Obviously having some days to chill out in New York as well, so I
that's
kind of
cool.
like used it to my advantage, I guess.
Yeah,
But yeah, to be fair, like even the show and that was run well. Do you know what I mean? The only thing that let me down was the lighting, man. Like I don't know if you
Really?
guys like,
Yeah, it
like
wasn't the greatest, was it?
yeah, bro, for a world finals, like it wasn't great, man.
Yeah,
Not good.
that's
Did you stay
unfortunate.
out there a little bit afterwards as well?
So obviously I was there for like 5 days in Boston, and then took a flight because New York's only like an hour flight. It might not even been an hour. Then did 5 days in New York. But
Wow.
saying that, I wish I'd done a bit longer in Boston, bro. Like, because because after the show was done, I think I only had like 1 or 2 days there. It was just like completely different vibe to New York. Like I'd say. I'd compare New York to like London, like main city, big tall
Yeah.
buildings, whatever, whatever. Boston was just a bit more urban-y, like a bit like cooler buildings. The architecture was there, shops, like different kind of food, and that was
Yeah.
Boston was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Not as
cool.
fast paced.
yeah. Just
How
to
did
like
you not
chill,
eat everything under the sun in New York?
Yeah.
bro. You think I didn't? You should have been with me. Honestly, it's one of those places where it's like really good for like post show and also really bad.
Really
And like,
bad,
bro, I
yeah.
love my food as well. So
Yeah.
I was still being smart with it. Literally, like through the day, I was just literally doing like protein veggies, and having like a like couple of meal plans a day. And obviously, like steps was like through the roof. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, we come back to your hotel room, your feet are done out like
Yeah.
completely. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
So there
I'd
was
Yeah.
love to
no
go back.
massive post-show rebound then within a
No,
week.
no, luckily not. Luckily, I managed it quite well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still hold the record.
What's that?
I still hold the record for a post-show rebound in a
How
week.
bad?
It's not that bad. It's £10. I did £10 in a week,
In a
but
week?
I
Then
didn't weigh myself. So basically, this was after my first prep as a teen,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I had 2 days off plan, and then I went back on my meal plan, and
No
that
way.
my food wasn't high on that meal plan. I still weighed in the following
Oh,
weekend, ten
Shit.
pounds up.
So you was
same.
So
likely £10 up after 2 days.
Crazy.
yeah,
And you just held it.
I reckon it was probably more than that, and then it came down.
Yeah, probably.
So
Jesus.
yeah, I
Oh,
learned the lesson the hard way on that one.
yeah.
Yeah,
But that's what you get when
Life
you're a teen bodybuilder and you
life
don't really
lessons.
understand it.
yeah, that's it. You listen.
Just eat
Uh,
everything I
God.
possibly can. Okay, so I've got a bit more general questions now. Best advice to someone concerned about having loose skin. This is from Jack. This is Chris's
Okay.
client, the guy who's lost over £100 already. So kind of open to the room, open to everyone. That question.
Yep. Um, Obviously, depending on where, there unfortunately, might not be much you can do about it. But building as much muscle as you can in that process will probably help when you do get leaner, just to displace some of the skin, I guess. But obviously, there's surgical interventions you can look at. Again, depends on how severe it is. But unfortunately, it might just be one of those things where it's a byproduct of it. But there are things you can do. Obviously, depending on the rate of loss, things like that, you can change it. Everyone's slightly different as well. So that's
Yeah, to
mine.
be well, to be fair, I'd probably second that. Like I said about like how depending how bad it is, going down the like surgical route, if it is like does it really affect you?
Yeah.
Then obviously, I'm presuming it's come from a place where obviously somebody was like holding like a
Yeah,
considerable amount of body
he
fat,
was.
and then obviously you've brought it down. Also, on the flip side, just be proud of how much you've managed. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
Yeah, because obviously, like it just shows that how much work you've put in to like get in the position you are in now. So just
Yeah.
be proud of it. But yeah, like you said, just like the best thing to probably do is like to go down the surgical route. To be fair.
Cool. I'm going to aim this question at you, Rue, because I think it's good because it's like last year was your first ever prep.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I think this is a good question. Cameron's asked, what would you say day-to-day life changes on prep? Or what are the day-to-day life changes on prep? And how has it affected like your daily life? Obviously, we've kind of spoken about like your culture and stuff, but what was like the main thing you were like, it changed a lot of, or was it the same as usual because you're already living the kind of bodybuilding life beforehand?
I think it was in terms of like day to day. Yeah, like obviously because I was yeah like because it's hard to like it does like you do feel a lot of effects from prep, but then it's how much you let them affect you as well.
Yeah.
Because if you want, if I'll give you like one example with me. When I really started to notice like the low energy, the fatigue. To be fair, training wise, I was always switched on. I was like, and luckily, one to be fair, one thing with me, I never lost no pumps, which really helped. Like, didn't happen at all. But one thing that when it did come to like fatigue, low energy, I was always just really getting heavy legs. And then like so when I go out for my walk, especially like when I started to notice like. Bro, I'll be honest, I'll be like dragging my feet around, like almost feeling sorry for myself. I'm thinking, what am
Yeah.
I doing? I'm just making my own situation harder.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I think so. So I think it's important to accept these like challenges you're gonna go through, but then also just like what to be fair, also accept you're choosing to do it at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's one of them ones, but accept these things are gonna happen, but just like you just gotta ride them out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
not like basically not be a pussy, basically.
Yeah.
Literally.
You
Because
know what I mean?
it's that gradual change. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning of a prep, it's pretty chill, and then
Yes. Yeah.
before you know it, you're low energy. Maybe motivation's not quite there. Obviously,
Yeah.
hunger kicks in, but yeah, I think day to day, just in general, it doesn't change that
No,
much until it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's until you start to notice those changes.
Because
yeah,
it's
yeah,
so gradual, you don't even notice it as well. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah,
Yeah.
slowly start to feel kind of worse and worse
yeah, yeah,
as you get
And
leaner and leaner. But because it's so gradual, like you don't really notice it, if that makes
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
So like
I
you just
think you
yeah,
crack
just
on
go into like
anyway.
autopilot.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
notice. It's just
Yeah,
like it's like yeah, like autopilot. Everything's autonomous, and it's just like you just like every day. It might sound boring to some, but every day just feels the same, and just like before you know it, like it's done.
yeah,
I mean, so it's yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think day to day anything really changes. It's just mainly
Yeah,
like what you got to consider is on prep. Like you have to be 100% in. So like if your day to day is going out for a meal in the evening or like obviously all of that has to be taken away and you have to be
yeah,
well, not taken away but you have to discipline yourself with your
yeah,
meals.
of course.
So that would probably be like the only day to day is the energy, isn't it? Really, that obviously starts to reduce as you get
Mm,
further into the prep.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it never gets too bad, I don't think.
Nah.
yeah. I've got a question for you. It's just come off the top of my head. What do you do for a job? I see you coach as well. Is that full time?
Yeah, I just
Yes.
got since like the start of the year. I'm full time now, bro.
Oh,
I
Oh wow.
nice.
was yeah,
Wicked.
so I was I did an apprenticeship in I was a bus mechanic.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did an apprenticeship in that. So I was doing that for like including the apprenticeship. That was like 7 years. That was like my
Yep.
first like first, that was my first. Well, okay, I'll tell a lie. When I left like school sixth form, I had like a part-time job working at the West Brom Albion ground, like on match days.
Oh,
Oh,
Used
nice.
to, yeah, just used to do that, and then yeah, then I got into the apprenticeship. That was pretty much it, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I handed my notice in there 7 years to the day I started.
really?
Nice.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
The
bro.
yeah.
day.
How
Nice
have
Is
you
little
that
start.
something
found that
you?
transition?
Say again,
Is that
bro.
How
is
have you
that
found
something?
that
Oh, cool.
transition from like full-time work to full-time coach?
Good man, just like it's a lot because it's like obviously you're working for yourself and like it can be more stressful. But and I knew for myself like I need to do it now or more or less like I might never do it. 'Cause especially like in my workplace, it is definitely one of those jobs where it was like people are there for like 20 plus years. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean? And like you can just get stuck in, you do just get stuck into a rut. You get comfortable and everything like that. So if I want to do something that obviously I enjoy doing, I've experienced myself and I can like truly believe I can help other people. And like, when you work, as like, you guys know, like when you're working for yourself, it's just like you put everything into it, and it actually means a lot more to you. Especially like when you're seeing clients like doing so well, and like they give you that motivation.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You get a better gratification, like any other job. It
yeah,
just feels like you're doing it for someone
it means
else.
something. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you
Yeah.
were
That's good.
obviously coaching like kind of part-time prior to.
Yeah. So like, firstly, I was just doing like friends, and then I was using them as my guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then obviously, yeah, took it full
When did
time.
you start all the coaching?
As in like properly.
As in like whenever you started in general,
Uh,
like with your friends.
would have been like September, October.
What,
Okay.
last year?
Yeah.
Jesus, bro,
Yeah,
that's a fast transition.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a quick transition.
Yeah.
Um, no,
You
that's awesome.
obviously
That is really good to hear.
propelled yourself with your shows.
Yeah,
obviously
that's
help.
it.
To be fair, it probably has helped. And
Yeah.
saying that, like I've spoken to people that like obviously like we've all got different reasons to compete. And like I've spoke to a couple of people and they basically like, bro, like I do shows every year just because it helps my client base so much. And I'm like,
Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
tough,
yeah,
isn't it?
that's exactly. So it's like I would personally, I wouldn't do it like that. I
Yeah.
wouldn't do
Obviously,
that. But
it's a byproduct, but if that's the only reason you're
that's the
doing it,
reason why. Like,
It's a
yeah, it's a
lot
bit
of
strange.
yeah,
shit to put yourself through
like,
to
tell me about
There's
it.
when you.
probably easier and cheaper ways to do that.
Yeah, probably. Just
Yeah.
use AI or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally.
AI
God.
marketing prompts.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's mad.
yeah, man.
That's mad.
Cool.
So yeah, that was kind of one of my other questions I had was like, what sort of inspired you to start the coaching? But you've kind of covered that. So
It's
yeah,
pretty crazy how like literally in September, October you started, and then
Yeah,
within a few months you're going full time. Like it shows you how quick like life can just go
crazy,
in a
bro.
complete different direction. Like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're,
yeah.
you had a full time job and then you do a bodybuilding season and then everything just transitions
Just
into
changes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're now pretty much like full time bodybuilding. Like with your clients, that's going
Yeah,
to go
yeah, yeah,
down more of a bodybuilding route and stuff. So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's really cool, mate. It's really good to hear.
are
Um,
them is your client base like competitors or
Nah, it's just like lifestyle, all of them.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
nice,
Hopefully next year I'll have some people ready to step on stage. But yeah, yeah,
absolutely,
yeah, that'll be awesome, bro. I'll be
yeah,
seeing you at shows.
yeah, defo, bro. But you'll see me. You see me this year anyway. I'm still gonna be watching them all.
Oh, are you gonna come to all the shows?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Cool. Yeah,
you
you'll be
can
making the trip, the long old
scream and
trip.
shout our names then.
yeah. Yeah, defo.
Yeah, I'll pretty much be at majority of them this year.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, we're traveling
Yeah,
up and down the country. Jesus.
mental.
Um, cool. So I've got another kind of broad question. This is from Nino. He's said, "Good morning, my bro. Question for today's pod. What is your approach to deloads slash devolumes? Do you guys take a more reactive approach, e.g., poor sleep, joint aches, etc., or a more proactive approach, e.g., pre-planned break like devolume after 8 week block of training?" Or when you may have a training break due to a holiday, etc. So, Ru, I'll let you go first, and then we'll see if we can add to it.
So I think it's like it can be very like person dependent. I feel like with some people, like it's better just to do it off feel. But then I feel like doing it off feel, like let's just say like performance is like stored and you're doing everything outside of the gym in terms of like keeping performance there. Okay, that might be one metric, but then it's like you're losing motivation. I feel like all these things can quickly all become like very linked together, and so it's literally like a domino effect. So then it's like, do you wait until you get that domino effect where you probably dig yourself too much of a hole, and it's like obviously not too late to deload, but then you probably should have deloaded earlier. So that you could argue that okay, maybe doing it after like every mesocycle where you're still pretty fresh, but just to give like any fatigue that's like might be setting in, it might be a bit more beneficial that way.
Yeah,
So honestly, bro, I feel like it is very like person dependent, but I think more so just going off like, well, I'd say more so going off feel, to be fair, rather than
yeah,
having set in stone. Because then set in stone, I think a lot of the time you just might not need them.
exactly. Then you're taking it for the sake of it
It's
because
a waste of
yeah,
it's a waste of or depending on how you do it, but let's just say it's a waste of a week.
Yeah. I think
yeah,
as
Do you know?
well, like people convince themselves that they're battered and they're
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fatigued. Like they'll get to that seventh week and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm on my seventh week. Like I've got one more week and then I'm deloading. I'm so battered." And it's like, no, you could
yeah,
probably do another 8 week block and you'd be sound. Like
yeah,
crack
it'd
on.
be,
yeah,
You don't like you don't train
yeah,
hard enough to
yeah,
really
yeah,
feel it within that
yeah.
amount of time.
It
So
depends what your training's like as well. Like anyone can put themselves in the bin
yeah,
with
exactly,
poor
yeah,
training.
yeah,
So
yeah.
do you need to keep taking deloads is probably a better question.
yeah,
Mm.
Like all the time.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think that like yeah, just be intuitive with it. I personally like to kind of plan my deloads around holidays. That's kind of like a little
Yeah, it's a
thing
good
for
way
me.
to do it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like I've got a break. I'm going to Prague at the end of the month, and I actually come back and go straight into prep. But
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
kind of been like my little 4 day
Your
deload.
last, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so that'll be nice. And then, But obviously, I won't be able to do that in prep. In prep, it'll be like devolume sessions all the time on it. But
Yeah. Is
yeah,
that what you like prefer in terms of like, would you rather like have a few days off, or would you just do like devolume sessions?
I hate devolume sessions. I'm going to be honest. I
Oh,
hate them.
serious?
Yeah, I hate them, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of like half-assed training,
yeah, I
isn't
Yeah,
it?
I know
struggle
what you
with it.
mean.
I
Yeah,
struggle with
yeah,
it so much. Like, I don't AJ since I got back on board with AJ, he hasn't like gave me a devolume session yet. But when he does in prep, I'm gonna be like, fuck.
yeah. You're gonna
So
hate it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate
yeah.
them.
Yeah, but it's
But
also there's probably like sort of mental benefits to both or cons to both because obviously taking the days off training because we all love training.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing of got to take some time off sort of
So
thing. So
that's what I was gonna say. That's
yeah,
what I kind of prefer. Just like devolume. At least I can still get to the gym.
yeah,
I'm on one now because obviously because I had my bloods today, I had to take and like I don't train on
2
the
days
weekend
off.
anyway, so I
Or
took literally 5 days off in a row.
yeah,
And bro, I cannot wait to get in the gym tomorrow, man.
yeah,
yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I mean? But
But then that's the benefit of doing it like that. It
yeah, yeah,
fires you up when you get back,
yeah,
doesn't it?
100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would just say another thing for me is I usually notice symptoms kind of like joint aches more so than anything else, like little niggles and stuff, which kind of make me come out the gym anyway. Because the last thing I want to do, regardless if I've got like just my back offset on a hack, I just
Yeah,
don't want to hack because my knees are fucked. So I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
take a few days off to then, and then usually I'm sound after that.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'd say to his question, kind of do what feels best for you,
Mm.
but definitely push the mark in terms of fatigue. I think everyone needs to experience being battered.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
because they really, I think most people do underestimate how fatigued they really are.
yeah,
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 yeah.
they
You
convince
need to
themselves they're
achieve
a lot.
bin status
Yeah,
levels
bin
to.
status. That's what we made. We're gonna make that like that the going thing in the
Yeah,
industry now.
we'll
Like
put it on a
everyone's gonna
t-shirt.
type in bin status.
Bin status. I like that one.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll take that one up north.
yeah. But yeah, just be smart with it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't overthink it too much. And when you feel like you need to take a bit of time off, take a bit of time off. Assess how deep you are in the kind of fatigue hole, and if you need to take days off, take days off. If you don't need to take days off and will be still be in the gym, then just run a deep volume.
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
Rue said, it's very person dependent and it's also personal preference as well. So yeah,
definitely,
that is.
definitely.
I've got one
Any
question,
more?
but it's kind of aimed at us, Denny.
Go on.
So Jack's asked, do you think Muscle Hut was the birth of bodybuilding in Ashford?
Technically, I'd say LRF was.
Yeah, well, he said LRS/Muscle Hut.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So
So yeah, in the southeast Kent area, Ashford specifically, I wouldn't say bodybuilding is that big,
yeah,
but
yeah.
we've got a pretty well kitted out gym, I'd say.
Okay.
Probably one of the best around. So yeah, I'd say yeah. I,
definitely
I
like
wouldn't be
beneath
doing what I'm
London.
doing if it wasn't there.
Yeah, beneath London, like our gym's probably the best gym.
What's it called?
Muscle Hut, Ashford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Might check it out.
yeah, come down, bro.
Come down. Yeah.
We'll have a session. That'd be sick.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
Um,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, like there was no bodybuilding gyms around our area
Yeah,
when before this gym came across. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I'd say to Jack's question, like yeah, it probably was the birth of bringing. That's kind of like why me and Denny as well started this podcast, was because there's not really like
A
a massive
community.
natural bodybuilding community in this
Mm,
area.
mm.
So it's kind of nice to try and like push that forward and
Yeah.
Yeah,
promote it
yeah,
in the south, because obviously like you probably know there's a lot of like bodybuilding's very big in the Midlands, in the north, like it's
yeah, yeah.
massive, right? Especially the natural bodybuilding community as well, but we haven't really got a big one
Got that.
down south. So
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
what we're trying to
That's
do with
sick.
this podcast,
Yeah,
is
man. Yeah,
push.
man. That's
So
sick.
yeah,
That is the plan.
Denny, have you got any questions?
I'm all out. No one bothered with me.
Yeah, I just carry this podcast, bro. I
Yeah.
carry this
I just think
podcast.
my demographic's a bit different to your guys.
Yeah, maybe. Cool. Rue, have you got any questions that you like to throw on the pod?
Oh, you put
We'll
me on a
ask you to
spot.
carry the pod.
To be fair, I was just gonna ask, like, obviously, you lad just mentioned about like the gym that you train at. Like, what other gyms do you rate in the country that you've been to, or that you'd like to go?
Yeah, local-ish, like the
No.
ones in London. They're the only ones that I really know.
Okay.
Yeah, like Muscle Works,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Crayford Weights. I've been to Emporium, Birmingham. Is that
Okay.
Birmingham?
Yeah, yeah, Birmingham. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there's not a great deal, I won't be honest. So
Yeah.
I've been to Ultimate Fitness Birmingham and Emporium. Obviously, like I think the best gym in the UK is Ultraflex Rotherham.
Yeah.
I think
Have you
that's
been to the Derby one?
no, I haven't been to the Derby one.
That
I
one's really
want to
good.
go to the Derby one,
Really good.
but I don't know if I'm
what
gonna have
gym
enough
do you
time
train
though.
at?
Foundry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to a foundry in Tunbridge actually. It's all hammer strength, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all pretty much the same to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was decent. I'm just not a great fan of hammer strength
How
stuff.
much? Yeah, I know. To be fair, the one that I train at the Wolverhampton one, and
Yeah.
they've got a lot of stuff that's not hammer strength. Like they've got
Oh,
like yeah, they've got like some Nautilus kit, they've got Prime kit and stuff like that. It's not just hammer
gotcha.
strength because even that, bro, yeah, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, the one I went to in Tunbridge, it's literally just
Like
hammer strength. It was
yeah,
brand new. Everything was shiny. I was like,
yeah,
eh.
yeah. I think that's what they do. To be fair, when they've got brand new, they literally kit them out with all hammer strength, and the owner will slowly get new bits in.
Yeah.
That seems to
Yeah.
be like their kind of thing. But yeah.
I think to be
Yeah.
honest, a lot of gyms that start generally do that anyway. Because Denny, do you remember LRF? It used to be a lot of like the original LRF. It used to be loads of hammer strength, and then they started getting like Atlantis, Prime,
Yeah.
more stuff coming in. So it does seem to be the kind of like go to at the start of when a gym's birth is hammer
Yeah.
strength.
Must
Um,
be cheaper.
yeah, it probably is. Hammer strength
Yeah.
probably is. I don't know actually. I don't know anything about gym equipment, but I'm assuming it's cheaper than Prime.
Yeah, definitely.
Prime's extortionate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Right. Well, I've got
Wrap
like
up.
one more question then,
Cool.
and then we'll wrap it up, mate. So, if you had to like describe one thing that bodybuilding's taught you, obviously it can be within your prep or outside your prep. What would you say that is?
Your mind will get you for anything.
Yeah.
That's literally it, bro. And like when you said that's the first thing that came into my head, and it's obviously like I was mentioned before, like it's only gonna be as hard as you make it. So if you're telling yourself something, that's what's most likely gonna happen. I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I think just accepting that accepting that it's not gonna be easy, but then not necessarily having to tell yourself that oh this is really hard, this is really hard. Yeah, literally like your mindset is just like the strongest tool you have. Like I honestly believe there's a massive like a basically like connection with your head and your physical well-being and your mental well-being, like they're very heavily connected. So and I think like if you're mentally not there, it's going to translate to you like in a physical form. So that's what I'd say, bro. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
weird you say that because I remember in my first prep, I used to be on the Stairmaster and I used to say mind over body, mind over body. I literally used to repeat it to myself on the stairs. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy you
Yeah.
said that.
It's true though, because it almost becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy if you tell yourself shit.
Yeah,
Like
100%.
fill your mind with negative and then
Yeah,
it will come out somewhere.
Yeah.
definitely. Definitely. Cool. So, Rue,
Nice.
do you want to give yourself a little bit of a shout out, mate? Where can people find you? We'll put your Instagram in the description below, but you make sure you give yourself a shout out, mate, and we'll send some followers across, hopefully.
Yeah, so obviously appreciate everyone for watching, everyone who's tuned in. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Rise with Rue. I am on TikTok as well. I'll drop little bits here and there, but yeah, it's one of them ones. But yeah, mainly just Instagram, bro. So yeah, like I said, appreciate you guys having me on as well and reaching out. But yeah, no, it's been a good one, man. I've enjoyed it. Obviously, first podcast. He's also like, how's it gonna go?
Yeah.
But
It,
I've enjoyed it, man. Like really enjoyed it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, it was
weird
good.
when you do your
Good.
first one. You're like, oh, you get a bit nervous because you don't know what's going to happen. But then,
Yeah, no, that's all it is. But then
yeah,
it's just a chat at the end of the day. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
like
Literally.
you like just chill out, and then you're like, oh, we're just having a conversation, and it's
Yeah,
being
yeah, yeah,
recorded. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, guys, thank you very much for listening to episode 11. 11?
yeah. 11.
I always, bro, if you watch any of these podcasts, right, I always butcher the numbering. So it has to happen at least once. Usually it's at the
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
Right, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.